Welcome to a week in Pixelverse. Hey, all terms in games journalism are bad. This is because as soon as we develop a term of art to help us describe something consistently over the course of an analysis, that same term will become more misused by other writers than being used accurately. Before coming out of retirement a few years ago, Sol Poipus created a video describing how ludonarrative dissonance was broadly misused by game critics to mean bad, but also that the presence of real ludonarrative dissonance doesn't necessarily mean a game is bad either. As game critics, our terms of art don't even rise to the level of jargon, though they are meant to be. Jargon is only jargon when a group of people need to know one very specific thing for one exact purpose. If I need an Allen wrench for my bicycle and you hand me a socket wrench, then you are, well, you can't argue that you use the term Allen wrench differently in your engineering. In philosophy, if I am doing a symbolic logic analysis of an argument's structure and say that it has a truth value of true, you know that I am critiquing whether the grammar and the syntax was spoken accurately, and not whether the material fact of what the person intended to say is true or false. See, jargon is hyper-specific and useless outside of its own context. There's jargon, and then there's game polish. Game polish is a useless term even within its own context. Like an opposite to ludonarrative dissonance, the term polish is used by and large to just mean good. It is most frequently used when Nintendo releases a first-party Mario or Zelda game, and we end up hearing the term Nintendo polish on loop for at least a month. So if polish isn't just another slang for good, what does it mean? Well, its intended use is to describe the amount of time used to improve a game's existing features. How does it feel to jump? Do the animations match what I'm doing and feeling? Are the menus and the information on screen intuitive? Is it legible? Etc, etc. Once a gameplay system is made, polish is everything that goes into finding the best possible expression of that system, just as polishing a shoe is the last extra step at the end of cleaning a leather shoe. Game polish is thought of as the finishing touches to developing a game. This is where quality assurance teams thrive, going beyond just finding bugs and moving on to taking a good game and making it better. Game polish is the opposite of feature creep, not adding more, no more concerns for quantity, only quality. But The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has 900 Korok seeds and a golden shit. Thanks to Joseph Anderson, we know that collecting all 880 power moons in Mario Odyssey will result in almost an hour and a half of listening to the same 6-second jingle. Even though I recognize that it is not intended for people to actually collect all these collectibles, I think we can also recognize that this is not Nintendo polish. This is Nintendo creep. A classic more is less problem. Mario's jumping is polish. Fires causing updrafts and being doused by rain in Zelda Breath of the Wild is polish. Korok seeds and power moons are not polish. But there's one more problem with the term game polish that goes beyond it being misused, and that's even when the term is being used correctly, it's still mostly nonsense. Polish, balancing, quality assurance, or whatever name you want to use is not some final act in the game development script. It is a constant part of the process from moment one. The very existence of whether some features are retained or dropped are based on whether they can be tested, tweaked, and polished enough to become viable. Development of both core and new features most commonly continues beyond being approved for publication, and even beyond initial release dates. Polish is not a unique step, but a constant part of the process. I repeated myself for a reason there. Don't ever believe a marketer or a manager that tries to scapegoat a QA team. So maybe, at the end of the day, polish just means good, and it's just part of the gamer lingo. I know that the music of Nier is good. I know how it makes me feel. I know that it's important to the experience and the message of the Nier games. But if you want to know why and how the music is good, you don't come to me. You go to 8-Bit Music Theory, Alex Mukala, and Kirk Hamilton's Strong Songs podcast. There's a substantive difference in the kind of analysis. The difference between what I'm doing as a game critic versus what they are doing as music critics with regards to the music in games. The only real problem with the term game polish is that it makes us lazy. We end up saying that something is good without being able to say why or how, but still pretending as though we did. Knowing that difference is the key to improving our discourse as fans of the art of gaming. Thank you for watching, my friends. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you next week.